Alrighty, today we're going to be looking at Microsoft Teams. This is just going to be a high-level overview of Microsoft Teams, kind of give you an idea of some of the functionality of Microsoft Teams, and let's just look at what Microsoft Teams can do for us. So, as you can see here, I've got Teams opened up in my Edge browser. You can access this through the Office 365 portal, along with all of your other Office 365 applications. For today's demo, what we're going to be looking at is actually the desktop client of Teams. You can see up top here, want an even faster, more collaborative experience, download the desktop app. I already have the desktop app loaded up on my computer, so let's take a look. Alright, now we've clicked here. Now right here you can see my teams. I've got about 4 teams right here that I'm a part of, and underneath each of these teams you can see general, and some of these you can actually see other areas. These are what are known as channels. So not only do I have teams, but I've got channels within those teams. This is a way to kind of specify content. Maybe there's a conversation that regarding AZ Vista that doesn't necessarily need to go out to everybody on the team, but is specified for a specific topic with AZ Vista. Here we can see the customer service portal. For today's demo, we're going to be looking at the Sales and Delivery Office 365 channel. Now, within channels, now you can see I've got a little message that I've already put up here in the chat. Within channels, you can set things like an importance for your chat, so that when somebody is looking at the teams that they're a part of, say there's a message that, I've just opened this up, there's a message in one of my teams that I have not read yet, that will appear in bold on that channel. If the drop down hasn't gone through, if it was looking like this would appear in bold. I would then click through and I could see, okay, here's my unread message that's in Office 365, and I could then go in and check that out. There's some other indicators, such as if I get mentioned, like I mentioned Todd here in this message, he'll get a little indicator when he opens up Microsoft Teams saying, hey, you were mentioned in a comment, and then he will go in and he'll be able to see, okay, well, this is what he was mentioned in, and see my message just as easy. So after that, we can also indicate things for importance. Say there's a message that I want to flag as being an important thing, so I make sure everybody has their attention on this item that I've presented in my team. I can do that as well. Okay, so without rambling on for too much longer, you can see here that I've sent a chat. I'll send another message in here to start a new conversation. So we'll say, this is for the demo, and I'll add a little. Actually, you know what? I'll highlight emojis here. So here I can add emojis. I'll put a little smiley face here, and we'll send that off. This is for the demo. Now, a couple things that pop out here. You can see reply on both of these chat windows. Now, if I didn't want to just, send another message out there, I could reply directly to one of these messages so that we have a thread going about this certain criteria, the certain topic criteria that, we've brought in into the chat window. You can also see here, so I opened up emojis. There are a couple other options here. We've got an option here for rich text. We can go in here, we can attach a file. We've seen emojis. There's also an option here for stickers, which we'll look at in just a second, as well as Meet Now. So if I click here in stickers, I'll just show you this. You can see we've got a couple topics here. We'll go into Office Drama and we'll say, click this, and we can actually change the message here. You can say, Teams is, if I could type, is great. Again, if I could type, Teams is great, and done. You can see it here, and I'll send this off. Teams is great. Now, this isn't just for fun. It's part of the social dynamics of Teams. It makes things more fluid, informal, and friendly for teams to get together and really work together. All right, now, as I mentioned before, we have an option here for rich text. This is for, adding a message that, you might have a little bit more importance to, right? You kind of want to structure it a little bit more than you would a typical chat. So here I can add a subject line. I'll say Teams And I've actually typed out a little message already about Microsoft Teams, so let me copy and paste that into this window. And it says, Teams is great. It lets you organize, share, collaborate, meet, and most important, be a more productive version of yourself. Now, this being a rich text field, I can also copy and paste images into this section. So let's do that. And it says, keep calm and start collaborating. We can send this off. And here you can see, again, the same things that we were seeing before. Somebody could reply to this. Again, we could like this message. Because I sent this message, I can edit or delete it. I can mark it as unread, although I don't know why I would do that. I can also save this message for later. Now, another area that I want to highlight on is actually uploading files to your teams. Now, files for every team that is created in Microsoft Teams, so I've got sales and delivery, a SharePoint site is actually created that will be a repository for those files and other things that in regards to that team. Now, if I click here, I can actually upload a file from my computer, OneDrive, browse teams and channels. I can see recent. I'm going to, for sake of this demo, I'm going to upload from my computer. And I should have, let's see, Office 365, employee quick start, open. And this document is opening up and sent. Now here we can see Office 365 Employee Quick Start. We can see it here in the chat window of this team. I could even go here to Files, and I should see right there my Office 365 Employee Quick Start document. Now you may have noticed I've got conversations, I've got files, I've got Wiki. Wiki is just an area where we could put meeting minutes, we could put any kind of notes. It's basically a notes page. If I click here, I could rename it and call it notes if I wanted to. I could go to the add tab here, and this is a place where I can even add more applications to my ribbon up top. Let's go back to files. I think this is an important document here, Office 365 Employee Quick Start. If I want people to actually be looking at this and make sure it's highlighted when they come into this channel, I can go over here to the ellipses, and I can say make this a tab. So if I click make this a tab, now whenever anybody comes in here to the Office 365 channel, they'll see the conversation, files, and now they'll see this, Office 365 Employee Quick Start. They'll open this up, and it'll be a little quick start on how to use Office 365 and get things started. This could be used for PowerPoint presentations, things that maybe be an introduction to your team, your channel, whatever you want to use this for. It's just a way of highlighting then those documents that you want to kind of emphasize for your team. All right. Next, I had shown you in the conversations window a button down here called Meet Now. Now, meetings are actually pretty interesting. So if I click Meet Now, and we'll say yes, allow access, and you can see me here. I can want to add a subject. No, I do not. I can see my video here. I could say schedule a meeting, or I could just click Meet Now. So that's what we saw is Meet Now. Hey, we're meeting. Here's some suggestions for individuals. Now, right now, you're looking at this video. I'm looking right into the camera. You're seeing me. You're seeing, though, that nobody here on the right-hand side, nobody's in this meeting right now. Now, people will get a notification if they log into Teams. They'll see, oh, that's, again, one of those indicators that I was mentioning before. There's a meeting going on right now in channels, and they can come in of their own free will. I could also invite people here, and then they'll all join, and we'll have a number of windows open, and we can see, here would be me, and we can see Todd, we can see Deb here, Mahul, Harold, anybody else that wants to I could invite to this meeting. We could do it that way. So we'll leave the meeting. There we go. And you can see here the meeting has ended, and we can go through the call quality. Now, if other users had actually gone into this, what I could do is I could actually go in and see a history of that meeting. Now, what I mean by that is, say there were some documents that were shared, say there were, notes that were taken during this meeting that through Teams. I could then go in, see some of those things, and be able to access them. So I could, have a refresher of what went on during this meeting. If there was a document that was shared, I could go and grab it. All those kinds of things are actually done through this meeting history. Now, I can't actually see that. I can click here, and we can see what could have been better, and I say presenting. I don't know. Cancel. There we go. All right, now we can see that we've just had a meeting here in this channel, but we also see right here on the left there are meetings. So if we were to click meetings, I could see now right now my calendar is pretty open, but we could see all of our meetings pulling from Exchange Online as well as Teams, and they would all appear right here in my meetings. I could even schedule meetings. So say I want to schedule a meeting with my team, I can click this schedule meeting, and I can go through that, and I can invite people to this scheduled meeting, and it will appear on their calendar. Another thing that I can do is go into the chat window. Now, this chat window, again, is kind of like the Teams, but this is for an individual user. So say I want to just be talking with Todd here. I come in here, I can type my messages. I have a lot of the same functionality. I could schedule a meeting with Todd. I can go in here, I can share files with Todd. I can do some things, seeing his organizational structure. And I can also look at some of his activity. What has he been up to in Microsoft Teams? With that said, let's go actually to my activities, and you can see I don't have anything here. I can come in here, I can also make calls. So this is, again, so we've got Skype for Business that we use for a lot of this functionality, but this is a way, kind of a one-stop shop for teams to come in here. They can chat with each other, they can set meetings, they can have video conferencing, they can have audio conferencing, they can even chat one-on-one with one another, share documents with each other, and really collaborate. And so Teams is kind of a one-stop shop for collaboration when it comes to the enterprise. And that about wraps it up for this kind of high-level overview of Microsoft Teams. One thing that I do want to mention really quickly is that you can look at, if you are on Android, iOS, or even Windows Phone, look in the App Store for Microsoft Teams. You have not all of the functionality that we see here on the desktop client, but a lot of the functionality of Microsoft Teams, and that's, again, a mobile-first type environment there where, when you're on the go, you want to be talking with your team. So I encourage you to look at the mobile application, kind of play around with that, and this has been a high-level demo of Microsoft Teams.